Special day, Heather B.
Talk about it, homie.
Special moment, Heather B.
Talk about it, though.
Certain people in this game, man, they need to be celebrated.
Say what it is.
We need to tell the truth about it. Their input into the culture, into the business, into our lives. They've imprinted our lives, Heather B. There's certain people that as you grow up in life, you grow up with them. Some folks you don't even know. You just know that they impacted your life. So many people come up to me and say, I grew up looking or I grew up listening to something, and they feel that kind of connection. That's the connection I feel with this young man that just graced the studio with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just read off some of his accolades.
You should.
I tried to put it together, and I don't even know if I got them all right.
Let's see what you got.
He first, I think, introduction to journalism on a professional level happened back in 2004. Let's take him way back when he had an opportunity. He was called in to actually do an interview with the legendary Jadakiss. This was the first time he ever heard the song Why, right? And from that moment, that ignited something in him, and I could relate to it. That pushed him, propelled him, made him decide to pursue it even further. As a journalist, let me name some of the things he's been able to accomplish. He started working with Complex, The Source, Vive, Don Diva, Scratch, Double XL. Very instrumental in that Double XL freshman cover that we all celebrate to this day, that many artists work their whole entire lives to be a part of. He was there in the beginnings. He became a senior editor as we started working together at MTV News. He soon decided to take a leap of faith and started working over at Genius as in artist relations, overseeing artist relations. But in the process of doing everything he's done, his success in business has been fueled by his integrity and culture. Everything he's done, to me, he's the very embodiment of what this culture represents. This is a young man that grew up in Brooklyn, New York, faced a lot of adversity. These are things you don't know about him that you're going to find out eventually as we continue to talk and have this conversation. And he fought through a lot to get to where he is today. Easily, of this generation, he's the GOAT when it comes to journalism. This is somebody I consider my brother. I've been inspired by, as he often tells me, I inspire him, you know. And today, he came up here, Heather. He hasn't even seen the new studios.
I know. That's what he said.
And he said, man, I got a big announcement I want to make. And I said, Rob, what's the announcement, man? What you can't tell me what it is? He said, nah, man, I'm going to tell the world what it is. And I want to tell it on your show. Rob Markman is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo.
Hey, what's up? Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Sway.
The official Sway introduction, man.
Some people go their whole lives and never get a Sway introduction. I'm blessed to have a Sway introduction. I made it. I made it. Wow.
Here's the thing. With you is different, you know, because you know me. You can watch me on video and go, that's about 90, 85% of who I know, the guy I know. But with you, we've gotten real about life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not just music business, not just entertainment. And knowing the core of your character, what you stand for in terms of integrity, we share that, you know. And sometimes you don't know, you know, I've often come to Rob and confided in Rob when I felt like, man, I'm out of this shit. This shit is full of fakes, phonies, facetiousness. They all pretending. And we know they're pretending. They know we know they're pretending. And he talked me off the ledge and reminded me what was important, and that's the fans, the audience, the people who are immersed in the culture. You could have all the success you've had and compromise yourself and not be the same person at the end of the race. You never compromise yourself in anything that you've done, all these platforms. You never compromise your integrity, which is hard to do. This is something I said to Dave Chappelle when he came up here. There's only a few rare people who have done that. Folks have tried to stand in your way. You got haters that call themselves friends. You know, you've had a lot of opposition to get to where you are. So this introduction ain't an introduction. It's just me talking about my friend, Rob Markman, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Markman.
Yes.
Let's make this announcement, man. You got us
thank
all
y'all for
pins
having me.
Okay,
We
man.
just gonna go in?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Come on, give me a drink.
July 28th. July 28th. Friday, July 28th. I'm dropping my debut project.
Oh!
As an artist.
Woo!
Right to Dream coming out on July 28th. I want it all, baby. I seen Diddy. Diddy got everything. You know, he got Ciroc and Revolt.
Yeah.
He's making albums. He's producing. He has Bad Boy. Man, I just love this thing. Hip hop has always been a passion of mine. When I grew up, I thought I was gonna be an artist before I was a journalist. I never aspired to be a journalist. I didn't even know it was possible.
Yeah.
And now that I've accomplished so many things, I'm like, yo, everything is possible.
Everything is possible.
Yeah.
It's time for me to you know, do what I always wanted to do.
And fulfill the dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, hold up.
Right to Dream is the name of it.
Right to Dream. Rob
Right to
Markman
Dream.
is dropping an album.
Let's do it, Markman.
Wow. Congratulations, number one, that you're dropping an album. This is an interesting switch of position for you because this is the guy that reviews the albums. This is the guy that finds the artists, and you're the guy that break the artists. You're the guy that helped put the artist on the XXL freshman cover.
Right.
Now you're the artist.
Right. Yeah, nah, that's cool. We're gonna add on just to the repertoire. You know, it's not just being an artist. At the end of the day, I'm just Rob. I'm doing me. You know, Sway, one of the things you told me, I don't even know if you remember when I first got to MTV, I don't know, you saw something in me. It was like, yo, you gonna get opportunities and just don't change who you are.
Mm.
And you know, I've always followed that advice. You know, one of the things that I've always done, I've always rapped. I kept it secret. I got like a little Pro Tool set up in the basement, and I'll record stuff, and it'll just be for the homies, or I'm always just kind of writing or putting down ideas. So, you know, kind of the guys from the neighborhood that grew up knowing me like all my life is bugging out because they thought I gave up on the dream. But I got to a point in my career where it was like, man, I could really do this and I have the passion to do this.
Wow. I was talking with, well, I'll come back to that.
You know, and hold on. One question. I'm sorry. And you know I'm sitting next to the legendary Heather B. So, Heather, understand what this moment is. Listen.
I'm here for the bars, Rob. I got my drinks. I'm ready for you, Rob. Let's get it.
No, but this is like, I think everybody's kind of shell-shocked because nobody knew this. Rob is dropping an album, Right a Dream.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Man, how do you... well, I want to talk about the artist side before I talk about the journalistic side. So you were an artist before you even got into journalism. What did you go by?
Oh man, I had so many names.
Okay, what are some of the names?
I started rapping when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
So D-Cypher was a name once, and then it changed to BK Cypher. It was a whole bunch of stuff that just like rapper names. You know what I'm saying? Like when you coming up, like you need a rapper name.
Yeah.
Ain't none of that.
Okay.
Now it's coming out. You can look for it on iTunes. The pre-order is actually going up today. Rob Markman.
Rob Markman.
Yeah,
that's the name.
No,
I can't do the MF Doom thing. I can't wear a mask or play too. You know, I got too much going on. But yeah, I had. You know, I've been doing this since I was 12.
What kind of dues you paid though? Like what? I mean, because people are gonna ask, well, what is he gonna rap about? What is the album gonna be about? Like, did you go through the MC trials and tribulations of handing out your CD?
Absolutely, yeah. There's people that can attest to that at different points in my life. You know, I started out rapping and battling people in school and at the lunch table, like most people do. The first time I ever stepped foot in the studio is with a guy named I don't know if you guys know, Plain Pat. Playing Pat over at Good Music, you know, very instrumental in Good Music. You know, I was in high school and Pat was maybe a year or two older than me. So Pat has my first demo. I pray to God he never releases it.
Oh, that's coming out. You
That's
know
coming,
that.
Rob.
Deal with that, Rob, right now.
Oh, you know, so I did that, man. I used to battle, you know, when Fat Beats was open in New York City, man. We used to go up there and battle in front of Fat Beats. And, you know, so there's certain people that can attest to that. You know, I wasn't, man, I won a lot of battles.
You won battles.
Yeah, I lost some too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was undefeated, but you know, I'm battle tested. You know, I've been in the studio. I know my way around the studio, so you know, I feel like I'm ready.
One of the things I always loved about you, like your wife, like how did she? Shout out to her because she's always so nice too and supportive. You having the job that you've always had, you never had to really deal with like written out criticism and just say shit on the internet like, this nigga suck, whatever the case may be. How your wife feel? Like, how does she feel about this news? Like, is she supportive? Is she nervous for you? Like,
for sure. She's supportive. She's nervous. I mean, it's funny. I think she's gonna kill me for this. I think she met me. I was on the corner rhyming.
Really?
Okay.
So she married a rapper?
You know, but yeah, nah, she's definitely been supportive. She knows this is who I am and something I've wanted to do, and yeah, the criticism too. It'll be funny. The criticism would be funny. Like I'm built for it. I'm ready to answer all questions. You know, and alleviate any doubt. You know, but even as a journalist, you know, we get criticisms when we used to do the hottest MCs. You know, I don't know how many times Kanye is number 6. Yeah, you should be fired, or you know, saying something like that, or. You know, you read all types of stuff about it. Anybody can write anything on Twitter. So, you know, I've seen it, you know, and I'm ready for it. Like, you know, Hov is my favorite rapper. To me, Jay is the GOAT. And he just dropped an album. And, you know, while I was praised, I seen other people say all types of bad things about Jay-Z. Yeah. So if Jay can get the criticism, I could take it, man.
Anybody criticizing that album, I question you. I question your opinion. Why now?
Why now? That's a good question. Life is short, man. Life is too short not to do what you want to do. Why now? Because I don't want to look back looking like what if, you know what I'm saying? And the opportunity had been presented to me. The EP is coming out independently through Empire Distribution. So shout out to Gazi and Nima. Shout out to my man Hovain for you know, putting that deal together and bridging that gap. But the opportunity came to me, and it's like, man, why not? Why not? It's something I always dreamed of. I've accomplished way more than I thought I would already in life. I accomplished way more than probably just people around me thought I would. So how far can we take this thing? Let's see.
So what kind of content can we expect from this? Like the talking points, are you going to be talking about shade in the journalism industry, or is it more like
shady journalism part 1?
You know what I mean? Or is it aspects of your life that we often forget are embedded in you just because we see you as a journalist?
Yeah, it's the latter. You know, that's a great question too. It's the latter. You know, I don't think I'm talking about anything journalism related. A lot of the stories, there's a lot of storytelling on the album. And you know, it's things that I needed to get off my chest. Recording was a form of therapy. There was things that I couldn't talk about. Like if I'm doing an interview with an artist, these stories that I have to tell don't come out in the interviews because the interviews aren't about me, it's about the artist. My job as a journalist is to get the artist's stories. There were things that I just didn't feel comfortable spewing out on Twitter. You know, like the story, man, the album kind of opens with a song called Last Night. And, you know, it's about when I was 18 years old, I grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and it was kind of rough, man. And, you know, I had great friends. Some of them didn't make it off the corner that we lived on, either arrested, locked up, you know, shot, killed. And some people are just still there hustling, doing the same thing that they've been doing. So, you know, when I was 18, I was able to move out and got my first apartment on my own. The night before I was supposed to move, the U-Haul's packed. I'm moving the next morning. I'm good. You know, I go out to the store, and it's early. It's like 9 o'clock at night. It ain't. But it was just real quiet outside, and it was kind of strange. And I crossed the street, and you know, shots just start ringing out. I see a kid right in front of me just shooting. And for half a second, I'm like, what did I do? Like, you know, I never really had beef. I'm like, yo, this house is going to end. Turned out he was shooting at somebody past me. It was just a coincidence. Like, I got caught in the middle of a shootout. So, and I always think about that every time I accomplish something. I'm like, man, I could have been left on that corner just by an accident, just by a statistic. So when Jay said something like, you know, 3 shots never touched me, divine intervention, you know, that line started meaning more to me after that event. So, you know, I tell stories like that where, you know, it's just kind of like a form of therapy.
How deep do you go? Because I know personal stuff about you and your family. Are you going that deep? Or are you going to talk about your brother?
A little bit, yeah. I definitely talk about my brother. You know, out of respect, I didn't say his name on the album, just because, you know, you know, everybody in my family has stories, and their stories are theirs to tell. You know, my brother's been through some shit for real, but he's actually in a good place now. There may be people in his life that don't know. Yeah, kind of the things that he's been through. So, you know, I didn't want to all the way put him on Front Street, but there were things, you know, things that my brother went through that helped shape who I was. And it was funny. My older brother was probably, he's the reason why I fell in love with hip hop. When I seen him just would come through with them EPMD tapes and the Red Man tapes and the Adidas tracksuit, I just always wanted to be like my older brother. And he was the last one that I told. I kind of kept it a secret until it was done. And I was nervous to tell my brother, and I called him a couple of weeks ago and told him. He said, "Yo, man, just keep it street." So,
that's what he said. Yeah, see, people wouldn't even know that side about Rob Markman because we only see you as a journalist. But do you go into family too as well? Are you gonna
a little bit, and you know, I definitely start touching. It's more about kind of who I am and the things that shape me. Again, I'm very kind of protective and respectful of my family's my family stories, you know. But you know, I definitely talk about things, and I definitely talk about things that I went through or things that I seen in shape. And this is only the first project. I'm not gonna stop. So it's like, who knows what's gonna come out for the second. This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning.
Them studio sessions was such therapy for me. Like talking about things like, you know, I had a cousin that passed away several years ago, and it was kind of crazy the way that happened. And I kind of touch on it, but it's coded in such a way that only the real people in my life know who I'm talking about. Like, you know, and maybe I'll add more layers to the story later. You know what I mean?
Mike Muse?
Yeah, I have a question for you, man. One, congratulations on the new project.
Thank you.
What kind of mental capacity are you in right now to go from a critic to an artist? And what do I mean by that? As you mentioned, you've been battle tested in high school and growing up, the rap battles and all that wonderful stuff. But you spent a majority of your professional career being the critic. So how is that? Do you go into the studio? Do you think about that? Do you think about the level you have to rise to the occasion to go above those where you know are going to critique you out the gate because you've been so critical? What is the mental capacity that you're in right now to do this?
Yeah, you know, I don't think about critics much. I know the criticism is going to come. More so when I'm in that studio, I think about other MCs that I look up to. So that rise to the occasion that you talk about doesn't really come from critics. It comes from guys that I enjoy listening to, that I know, you know, other artists are going to listen to it, and I don't want, you know, like.
You don't want Nori to be like, yo, that was whack, Rob.
Like Nori gonna tell you like guys,
yo, that was whack, Rob. You know, you don't want him to be. You gotta impress Nori. You gotta impress Nori.
Absolutely, guys like Nori, Royce the 5'9".
You gotta impress Royce.
I think you know, and that's a high bar. So that's what I'm thinking about. I think Royce is probably. I think Royce is the best rapper on the planet right now. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? That level of lyricism, you know, guys like Pusha T, guys, you know, I'm still going to have to interview these guys. So I don't want to be awkward when they step in the room like, this whack motherfucker. Yeah. So, you know, I had to step them bars up and make sure, you know, my shit was on point.
How do you not? So all this time you're doing these interviews over the years, and you're interviewing a lot of these different rappers.
You know,
and I know in the back of your head you're like, this whack motherfucker. You know, I mean, I could rap better than him.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yeah, have you thought that before, right?
Absolutely.
About who?
Well,
welcome to the other side.
Yeah. I'm competitive. I think I'm better than a lot of people. I don't think I'm the best, you know, by any means. I'm better than a lot of motherfuckers. You know,
want me to throw out names?
You gonna do that?
We gonna let.
What song you want to go to first?
Let's go. Look, I'm here on the hot seat, man. We can do whatever you want to do, Sway.
Want to get on this too, man. Let's throw out some names then. You've interviewed. Let's say you've interviewed.
Kodak Black.
I'm not gonna do that. You've interviewed Travis Scott before.
Yeah.
Think you're a better MC than Travis Scott?
Man, Travis got hits though.
Travis the man. You can have the thing about, you know, this sport. He can have all the hits. A person can have all the hits in the world in the back of your head. You're still thinking.
I think I could rap with Travis Scott. Like I think if I was on the song with Travis, because one he kind of just got a style to him. So his thing is more style then like, it's different than maybe a Royce the 5'9", where he's gonna kill it. But not that Royce don't have style. But you put me on the song with Travis, I'm gonna get mine off.
Schoolboy Q.
Oof. That's hard. I have to. I like, I gotta prove it. I'd be up for the challenge. Schoolboy Q is nasty.
Okay.
I'll be up for the challenge. It'll be interesting. I don't know yet, but I would definitely probably be on the track with Schoolboy Q.
Yeah.
I'll be forced to write my best shit.
Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, I could. You know what?
You found rap Wiz?
Wiz. No. Wiz is on the project low key.
Oh really?
Wiz is on the project.
Yeah, we got a little surprise from Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
Something you might not expect, but I would love to get on the track with Wiz. When Wiz gets to his rapping, like Wiz, like really, really can rap.
But who have you interviewed that you thought I could rap better than this guy?
You crazy, man. Nobody gonna want to do interviews, man. So you tell me. I tell you what. After we get these bars off in this freestyle, you gonna tell me who you think I rap better.
Okay, there you go, Rob.
I'm just getting in. Sway trying to end my shit already.
No, not at all. I'm trying to warm you up for what you're gonna get.
Schoolboy Q, I'm gonna get that call right when we get off air.
But I'm naming friends.
Yo,
I know Travis is cool as hell. He's probably and Q gonna laugh. Q know I'm just taking a shot at him.
It's funny though. Like again, like I want that challenge.
Yeah,
and then we gonna see. Like first of all, I want to get on the track with Travis because that means we gonna get plays and streams. And we gonna be in the clubs. So let's do that. Travis is great at what he does, but ain't nobody gonna embarrass me. You ain't never gonna hear me on the track with anybody and be like, I got washed or I ain't belong. Like that's just not in my pedigree.
I like that. I like that.
Up. Okay, so not to go too many miles past the present, but looking into the future, or maybe the near future, are we gonna see Rob Markman doing tours? Or would you put the Rap Genius gig on hold to focus on this more? Yeah,
that's a good question. One, Genius is in full support, so
they're good people.
I told the guys at Genius, shout out to Tom and Alon and B, Fred, and Liz, right when I signed the deal, just because, I'm in business with Genius too, and what I do outside of Genius still affects Genius. And they were excited, so they were super supportive. Right now, there's no plans to put Genius on hold. I could do both. Like Diddy is not putting Revolt on hold to do the Bad Boy reunion tour, and things like that. So I feel like I could do it all, but, I'm taking on all opportunities. There's no tour on the table yet, but...
People put you on. You Rob Markman.
If the bag is right.
Rob going for the bag.
If the bag is right.
Well, let me ask you that on the flip side of what Tracy just asked you. Has anybody talked you out of it? Like, with all the respect and all the, acclaim that you've garnered in your journalism career, has anybody said, hey, man, you might not want to do this?
Everybody. I've had conversations with people, with friends and rapper friends, and people like, for real, like, I don't know, but that's cool. Yeah, people try to talk to me. I think I'll give you a name because I feel like you want a name.
Well, you wanted one earlier, but go ahead.
Yeah, I remember telling Mac Miller about the idea, and Mac is a close friend of mine, and he was like, man, you sure? You sure you want to do this? And so that's cool. That drives me. Like, that I'm gonna show Mac Miller that.
It's a good time,
yeah.
though, because even when you look at, it's on the opposite end, but looking at Joe Budden being on the interviewing side now.
Nori is doing your job, and now you're doing his.
Absolutely. Like, I gotta compete with Joe Budden and Nori for interviews.
Ain't that some shit?
Shit.
Ain't that something?
And they're great at what they do. I love Drink Champs. I watch Everyday Struggle every day. Me and Joe always talk about it. But, man, then, I'm going to go play on your court.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, let me shoot a couple buckets, man.
I've been trying to convince OQ here to take his shirt off and relax a little bit. Would you ever go the sex route? Just take it all off and just get out there, do a D'Angelo or something?
You got the cute hairband on.
Got that good braided hair. Come on, Rob. Yeah,
It's
Rob.
a transition. Listen, man.
If the bag
I'm not a take my shirt off kind of guy. I kind of look like, did Jay ever have to take his shirt off? Did Nas ever have to take his shirt off?
But if shit, across his chest.
Let 'em know it.
We saw it.
It depends on how bad shit get. Like,
I'm dying.
Now, how Hovain, you working with Hovain?
Absolutely.
Who's worked with how many different people?
a ton.
A ton.
Yeah,
How
Hovain.
did that happen?
Me and Hovain, just from Brooklyn, we had that connection and just kind of being friends. So Hovain was a guy that for years, Hovain knew that I rapped for years. And I would always ask for advice, because there's parts of the business that I don't know, like how to determine publishing splits and producer agreements and, how the contract works and how the business works. Like, I knew those type of stuff. I never been through it. So Hovain was a guy that been through it. So, I would ask him for advice and, it just naturally happened. He was the one who made the deal with Empire happen. I was on another radio show last year and they kind of, thought I was joking.
You could say the show.
Okay, yeah.
I was on the Breakfast Club.
I was on the Breakfast Club last year and, it had came up. They was like, yo, did you ever used to rhyme? But, I think Charlamagne was kind of like clowning me. Like, thank God you never used to rhyme. I'm like, nah, actually I did. And so I spit a freestyle for him. And, there was some interest after that. And speaking with Hovain, I was like, man, you really think we could do this? He was like, yo, I think we could do this. And, that's how it started happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hovain. Shout out to Hovain. I just wanted to give him a shout. That was just really unnecessary. I just wanted to give him a shout.
All right. Very, very, very instrumental. And in the studio for every session, it was only me, Hovain, and Ryo, the engineer. Like, we had closed sessions. I didn't want a bunch of people's opinions.
Were you nervous? You scared, man? Like, did you listen to yourself and go, I'm not where I want to be. Damn, it was good enough. Because you know how it is in the studio.
Yeah.
You think you sound one way, then you record it, and you go, fuck, damn.
Hell no, man. My shit hot. Nah, yeah, of course, man. I have like nervous energy, but more anxious to get it out.
Okay.
Like just to get it out because, the first one is out and, we're going to do another one. We're going to keep doing music. I was just anxious to get the first one out and continue to grow.
Let's play the song we have.
Oh, wow. This is a world premiere.
This is a world premiere. Tell us about the song.
This song is called I Don't Want to Wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's produced by Justice League and 8 Bars and features Kirby Morier on the hook, talented singer from Miami, part of Valhalla Entertainment. So those are just my peoples. And I needed somebody to bring some soul to the record, so I called Kirby. Yeah, man. And I Don't Want to Wait is just kind of one of those stories about me growing up around drug dealers and being fascinated by the things that they had. They always had the pretty women, the cars, sneakers. Sneakers was my first obsession. So, it was kind of the things that drove us, like, to get sneakers. But I avoided, luckily I had OGs around me that kind of was like, nah, this ain't for you, and shielding me for that. So, I Don't Want to Wait is like, a homage to kind of the OGs who put me on the right path.
This is a world premiere, ladies and gentlemen. First time ever heard. Being played on a radio station that's worldwide. From his debut album, EP, Write a Dream. Pre-orders available now, coming out July 28th. One of the most celebrated journalists of our culture. Now he's stepping into the realm of the hyenas. World premiere, Rob Markman, Sway in the Morning, Shade 45.
Sway in the Morning, exclusive on Shade 45. It's Sway in the Morning, only on Shade 45.